Hello and welcome to my critique of the only anime worth watching, at least in my view.
Feel free to comment, and don't forget to join Micah's Discord server.
Remember, only discussion promoting blasphemy against the Lord will be taken down. The Legend of the Galactic Heroes is a TV show aired in Japan during the 1970s and is a high-quality political drama focusing on the conflict between the Galactic Empire and the Alliance of Free Planets. This series is objectively great and has influenced a lot of my worlds in terms of political drama and character creation. I also have to congratulate the show for its objectively great soundtrack, as choosing the wonderful work of great composers is far better than resorting to modern compositions. It's a show that many have even said they choose to watch only with a suit and tie, and I get that due to its sophistication. The show has the general feeling of a historical drama or space opera, more like the retelling of historical events that actually happened than a character or narrative plot. The choice in aesthetics is also great, as the Galactic Empire and the Alliance of Free Planets truly feel like two drastically different nations within the same world. The characters are also well-rounded enough to have their own goals and motivations, but not overly developed to turn this show into a soap opera. For this reason, this show sounds right up my alley, and guess what? It is. It is because I am a fan of this show that I will bring in my own personal issues with this show. Essentially, my disagreements are found in three separate categories. The Empire isn't truly an empire, the Republic isn't truly a republic, and the religion isn't truly a religion.
First of all, we begin our criticisms with a critical look at the Galactic Empire. I can tell that they are trying to evoke the aesthetics and characteristics of nations like the Holy Roman Empire and various medieval European kingdoms. In this, they were very successful. However, as is common with many animes, they are able to master the outward appearances of the West or China without looking inwards to what makes the civilization unique. In truth, no one actually believes in imperialism for its own sake. Rather, they believe in what the Empire represents, and I've found nothing for the Galactic Empire to truly represent.
To illustrate this, let's compare the Galactic Empire with various real-world regimes. The Sacrum Romanum Imperium, or Holy Roman Empire to a postmodern ear, was a powerful empire that was sacred in and of itself, representing all Christians throughout the world and with a divine imperative to conquer. Although there are debates on the HRE's legitimacy as Holy Roman or an empire, this nation has an internal justification for its existence. Far beyond authority for authority's sake, this authority is there because it is divinely ordained as sacred in and of itself, regardless of the Pope's opinion. Meanwhile, what justification does the Galactic Empire have for itself? Let's see. The Galactic Empire is a powerful nation that operates on a secular ideology due to the destruction of messianic figures following the collapse of the Earth, albeit one with pagan aesthetics and a vague worship of Odin and Thor. It was founded by Rudolf von Goldenbaum, an imperialist who took command of the Earth government through populist rhetoric. Apparently, he managed to enact such powerful dictatorial authority that everyone except ultra-Aryans were eliminated by the Empire. Just like that. This was made especially true as upon Rudolf's death and a massive democratic revolution, the Empire just dominated everything. The ultimate question is this: who will die for the Empire? Sure, you can love imperialism or monarchism, but authority for authority's sake is not really something worth fighting for. It's also not a matter of a long transition like in Rome, but rather something that took decades. In any realistic scenario, a counter-elite would immediately form to overthrow this empire, most likely in underground revolutionary movements. I cannot believe that anything else is possible. Now that we have an empire whose only justification to exist is "I like kings," we can at least be thankful that there are democratic movements ready to challenge it.
The Alliance of Free Planets is a champion of democracy, ready to take down its enemies in the name of freedom. In fact, we ought to gather in front of the Republican capital of Heinessen and goose step before its Statue of Liberty, ready to shout "Hail Victory" to its democratic leadership. Otherwise, we might be put in a gulag to see it destroyed. In short, the Alliance of Free Planets is about as democratic as the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
It's ruled by a council of bureaucrats who are able to restrict freedom of speech, dominated by a collection of officials whose supreme authority cannot be beaten, often showing their dominance in a series of show trials and near coups. The speeches from its leaders sound more like those of Joseph Stalin than democratic leaders, and they're met with vast amounts of applause from a loyal and joyful population ready to obey the commands of their liberators.
Of course, don't forget the unassailable values of democracy, such as freedom of speech. Oh wait, those who dared to defy the government were pretty much put under the captivity of far-right groups tied to secret societies, ones that will be met much later than today. These far-right groups, far from political dissidents or nationalists, pretty much became the secret police of the Republic, with shadier politicians like Andrew Fork, yes, that's his actual name, practically going unquestioned.
Don't forget the actual military coup established in the Alliance, in which soldiers from this nation pretty much took over everything. In truth, the Alliance of Free Planets is a lot more similar to nations like the Soviet Union than any legitimate democratic government, as both ended up becoming pretty authoritarian in the pursuit of their revolutionary ideals. Let's showcase some of their more important similarities.
Both the Soviet Union and Alliance of Free Planets were inherently revolutionary, with the majority of their focus based on tearing apart the old and building up a new identity. Both of them claimed to be democratic, but were extremely authoritarian in their approach. Ultimately, both of them proclaimed freedom but practiced authoritarianism. Now, who's the worst group within this world?
That's got to be the Earth Church. This is obviously a religious organization in its historical reality, but there's one major problem. Who are the fucking prophets? What are its central teachings? It just seems like the Earth cult is more based on stroking itself for being on planet Earth instead of a coherent ideology or religion.
Real-world religions have a much better reason to exist than I like this guy, or I think like this. To illustrate this, I shall begin by talking about several real-world religions. Christianity is based on the worship of one man who saved humanity from an eternity in hell, thanking him for the sacrifice he made and living a life of humanity as a result. Communism is based on the worship of the common man, emphasizing its supreme power to be the commanders of the world and to create utopia without external aid. Islam is based on monotheism, emphasizing Muhammad as the prophet who created a revolutionary new order.
You can see why people would die for their cause. They are grave spiritual matters that are inherently iconic and captivating. What does the Earth Church have to offer? Earth, just Earth. A strange worship of the old planet. There is no promise of eternal paradise, no clear guideline on how to live your life, no real apologetics defending its religion, nothing. Despite the lack of a reason to fight for it, its followers and members are pretty fanatic.
Now, I get that this organization uses drugs and brainwashing to spread its religion, and that it's generally an evil organization. But even real-world evil religions like communism and Islam have reasons for committing their atrocities and are able to justify them to their members. Ultimately, this religion functions less similar to an actual church and more similar to a secret society.
The Knights of the Golden Circle, a real-life secret society, was focused on preserving the institution of slavery throughout the world. This is not a cause that people would die for on a religious basis, as even most Confederates died defending their home state and community rather than the institution of slavery. However, it was capable of establishing a powerful enough movement to sustain itself and even get new members. This is a more accurate equivalent of the Earth Church.
In short, the empire is not an empire, the republic is not a republic, and the religion is not a religion. Now you may ask a rather simple question. Is there any way I could write the show better? In designing characters, I gotta give the original writers an award in the way they do it. However, I still believe that I can improve upon the base of the Empire, Alliance, and Church.
Let me tell you about the Galactic Empire. The collapse of religions in our homeworld did not create a world devoid of spirituality, but rather one in which spirituality itself was utterly reformed. Rudolf von Goldenbaum, our founding emperor, rose to power through his sheer charisma, cunning and wit, prepared to send humanity into a new spiritual enlightenment which eclipsed that of Robespierre. Through his divine communion with the gods and the ordination of the empire's nobility, the old Galactic Republic could no longer face off with our immense success, and it naturally fell apart.
However, a revolutionary vanguard was formed, designed to overthrow the empire and restore the rule of the common man. Initially fighting behind the scenes in guerrilla warfare, we escaped using wormholes to find a new homeworld where we could not only survive, but thrive. In this world, named Heinessen after the founder of our revolution, we prepared for revenge. Here, everyone owes their lives to our revolution, and we will do nothing to stop or hinder the eternal march of triumphant liberty. This is the alliance of free planets that we shall eternally fight for.
Despite the ongoing conflict, a group of people united under the banner of truth. Proclaimed by the ancient prophets of times long before now, it was soon realized that one thing has kept the world sacred throughout the days of history. Every single prophet who instilled divine unity across the nations has one thing in common, one single planet that birthed them. This is the unity and enlightenment brought by Mother Earth, completely untouchable by the rest of the galaxy. Upon humanity's return to Earth, a new Messiah shall create a utopia, once again restoring the Garden of Eden for its denizens. That is why we are willing to die for our cause.
What do you think? I hope that you find this to be a fun exercise in both writing and world building. And as always, be an artist, not a nerd, for all art leads to God. The Lord is the divine source of creation. He who is greater than all is greater than all, the honored, blessed, and great. Most powerful, most spiritual, most beautiful, most wise, and most loving. He is the commander of our lives. Amen.